We're going to go through the process of changing the connection for the warm air outlet from the end of the machine to the same side as the return air, as you would do for an external installation, but now we can do it for an internal installation as well. As we're going to move this warm air outlet's end of the machine to the side, we have to remember there are actually 4 panels we're going to move. So there's an outer panel and there's another panel behind this. So we have to move all 4 panels to reconfigure the machine. To remove the panels, these outer panels, there are 4 screws holding the panel in. So all 4 screws have to be removed. On the end panel, we have to take the handle off first, which are 2 screws, and then again there are 4 screws that hold that end panel on. We'll just put these out of the way somewhere so they don't get damaged. Now we can see the 2 inner panels that we've got to remove. Swap these 2 panels around. There are 4 screws holding each of these panels in, and there are cutouts in the insulation so you can find the screw heads. So there are little recess points in the insulation to find the screw head so we can remove those panels. Right, I've removed the screws, we'll take the panel off. You can see there's a rubber seal around the back there to seal it against the chassis of the furnace. So pop that out of the way for now. The end panel comes out the same, just the screws catching. Got the same rubber seal, and you'll see that the overheat Klickson is actually attached to this panel. Here we've got the cable going to the overheat Klickson, which runs around behind the burner. To move this panel to the other side, we're going to have to move this cable as well. So as we're going to go, in this instance, we're actually going to put the connection on the near side, but were we to be putting it on the back of the machine, then this cable is actually okay to run through the route it does at the moment. We just reroute it to the other side of the panel. As we're going to go to the far side, lo and behold, the cable comes right round past the burners. Not a good idea. So they have given us an extra bit of length for cable. We need to remove the plastic clip that holds the cable away from the burners. Move the panel to the other side and reroute the cable through the heater, away from the burners, and then we can mount the clip on the other side. There is a hole there ready for it. And we're going to route the cable down. Before replacing the outer case, we need to make sure that this overheat cable is well clear of the hole where we're going to put the casing screw in, and also that it goes around the end of this rail so that when we put the outer case on, it doesn't pinch the cable between the inner and outer case. Position the panels in their new positions, and we now need to put those 4 screws back in each panel, so there's 4 in each. Should locate in the same positions, and we've moved the internal panels. The next stage will be to refit the outer panels. In this panel that we've moved, we've got the access point, or the position where the condensate drain comes through the panel. Naturally the condensate drain's still got to come through the end of the machine, so this panel we've got to remove this sleeve, so that pops out. And we've got a cap that's supplied which just pushes back into that hole, press it through, it pops into place. Now for the panel that's going on the end, which the condensate drain is going to come through now, we need to pop out the knockout and then fit in its place the plastic sleeve that we've taken out of the other panel. Just remembering at the end to refit the handle, and it's very important, again, just remind you to make sure that this overheat wire, where it drops down through to go to the overheat Klickson, we avoid the screw at this point. So don't tuck it up underneath the panel and catch the screw. Once we've got the connections located in the orientation we want, we're ready to fit the duct pops. Now it's important to remember where there's a double skin, the pops are connected to the inner skin. These pops are folded up and rolled up with a groove that is ready to fit on the inner case of the furnace. And once we fit them in position, the pre-drilled pop rivet holes should line up exactly. If the holes don't line up, then it's not located properly. Once the pop's in position, you can feel it's locked into place. And if you look through the pop rivet holes, you see that the two lots of holes line up with where the pop overlaps. So it's ready for riveting with the rivets that are supplied.